Alright, verse 54. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil toward his brother, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children which he shall leave. Now we all know that. You know these out here amongst you niggas, man. You know that your eye is always evil toward your brother. There's always problems between a man and a woman. And toward the remnant of his children which he shall leave. 55. So that he will not give to any of them of the flesh of his children whom he shall eat, because he have nothing left him in the siege. And in the straitness wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee in all thy gates. He can't give to the children because he have nothing. 56. The tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eye shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom, and toward her son, and toward her daughter, and toward her young one that cometh out from between her feet, and toward her children which she shall bear. For she shall eat them for want of all things secretly in the siege and straitness, wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee in thy gates. So you see that, man? It say the woman which was once delicate and tender. We know that her eye is evil toward the husband and toward her children. We know the state of the black woman right now. I don't have to get into that. All you have to do is cut on your TV, get on the internet. You see the state of the nigger woman. And it's been times during our vast history where Israel had to revert to cannibalism. And it's going to happen again in the time of Jacob's trouble. Verse 58. If thou wilt not observe to do all the words of this law that are written in this book, that thou mayest fear this glorious and fearful name, the Lord thy power, which I told you before, that word Lord, if you go into it in the Hebrew, the fearful name, the Lord, and the Hebrew word that is Yahweh. It's Yahweh. Like I said, you got to be able to pick through this blue letter. But it doesn't say Lord in the Hebrew, because that word Lord in the Hebrew is Adawan. So you have to fear the glorious and fearful name, Yahweh thy power. You have to fear the name of the Lord. Verse 59. Then the Lord will make thy plagues wonderful, and the plagues of thy seed even great plagues, and of the long continuance, and sore sickness, and of long continuance. Moreover, he will bring thee upon verse 60. Moreover, he will bring upon thee all the diseases of Egypt, which thou was afraid of, and they shall cleave unto thee. Also every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of this law, them will the Lord bring upon thee until thou be destroyed. And that's these damn diseases that wasn't even written back then. AIDS, Zika, Ebola, all that shit, man. That shit, these diseases attack Israel. 62. And ye shall be left few in number, whereas ye were as the stars of heaven for multitude, because thou wouldest not obey the voice of Yahweh thy power. And we being made scarce, man. Niggas dying off in piles. Niggas getting shipped into prison like it's shutting down. They packing niggas into the prison. So we getting few in numbers. And if it wasn't for the Most High speeding this thing up, it wouldn't be none of us left. Verse 63. And it shall come to pass that as the Lord rejoiced over you to do good and to multiply you, so the Lord will rejoice over you to destroy you and to bring you to naught. And ye shall be plucked from off the land whither thou goest to possess it. So whereas the Lord rejoiced to see us do good, now he delighting and rejoicing to destroy us because of the damn wickedness of our ways. Verse 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from the end of the earth even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. Like I said earlier, man, it's just like over here, we serve this white Jesus. We serve Allah, this Islam bullshit. We serve all type of foolishness. We serve Egyptology, the gods of Egypt. This Africa bullshit, all those African gods when we were over in West Africa. We're scattered over all the nations of the earth. So everywhere we at, we following and whoring behind false gods and false philosophies. All this Kemetic bullshit, all this Scientology bullshit, all this different trains of thoughts and ways of thinking that we follow behind in this damn world today. Because Israel is an ignorant ass people when the truth has always been right in front of you. Verse 65. And among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest, but the Lord shall give thee there a trembling of heart and failing of eyes and sorrow of mind. You can't find rest in this damn kingdom, in Esau's kingdom. It's always something to buy. It's always something you got to do. You can't find no rest over here. And there's nothing you can do about it. Verse 66. And thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shalt have none assurance of thy life. Is no assurance that you will live to the next day in this kingdom. Your life is always hanging in doubt being an Israelite in this white man's kingdom. Verse 67. In the morning thou shalt say, would the Most High were evening, and at evening thou shalt say, would the Most High it were morning. For the fear of thine heart wherewith thou shalt fear, and for the sight of thine eyes which thou shalt see. So in the morning y'all gonna say, damn, I wish it was nighttime, and at night, damn, I wish it was morning. If it ain't one thing, it's two, as niggas like to say. Verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt set it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. And when it says no man shall buy you, that means no man shall save you. And being sold for bondmen and bondwomen, that means being a slave. And it says we will be led back into Egypt again with ships, and we know that word Egypt means bondage. And we know that we are the only nation that is notorious for being led into slavery in ships. And you have to use the scriptures to break down the scriptures. So for everybody who like to try to bring out, well, it says Egypt, let's go to another scripture real quick before I close this out. Now, remember it said we will be led back to Egypt in ships. And right here, this is the book of Revelations, the book of Revelation, chapter 11, verse 8. And their bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. So that great city is America, Babylon the Great, which is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt. So we were led back into Egypt in ships, which is America, aka Babylon. And it's plain to see, man.